and welcome back to our news bulletin, coming to you live from Warsaw. I'm Staria Strzemska. A group of European interior ministers, including Poland's Tomasz Siemoniak, has met at Zugspitze, the highest point in Germany, for talks on migration. Our correspondent, Kazimierz Łysiak, is on the ground. Hi, Kazi, good to see you. So what do we know so far?
Good afternoon, Sally. Well, this summit, on top of a summit, was all about migration, and we've had here the interior ministers of Poland, Germany, France, Austria, Denmark and the Czech Republic. And all these interior ministers signed a joint declaration at the end saying that they very much would like for the European Union and the European Commission to start introducing more regulations when it comes to the EU law, which would allow to curb illegal migration across the bloc. Now, of course, illegal migration differs when it comes to different EU member states. Poland's Tomasz Siemoniak, the interior minister, said, for example, that Poland is hard at work securing the eastern flank of both NATO and the European Union, that the issue of migration in Poland is very much different from the problem in the other countries in the EU. This, of course, all comes during a disagreement between Germany and Poland when it comes to migration. Poland says that some illegal migrants were being returned from Germany to Poland. That's why the country has introduced border checks along the border with Germany. Now, looking at the statements from both the German and the Polish interior ministers here at Zugspitze, it seems that the two are cooperating well on the matter. Poland's interior minister said that as long as Germany has border checks on its side of the border, Poland will continue with their own checks along the borders with Germany. The Polish interior minister has also announced that he will take the German interior minister on a trip to the Belarusian border with Poland to show him what Poland has to deal with as the regime of Alexander Lukashenko is sending waves of illegal migrants to the Polish border, trying to destabilize the situation there. So the two ministers will be going there on Monday. But overall, the interior ministers who gathered here at Zugspitze said that they are committed to making sure that illegal migration will be curbed, and we can expect some new regulation coming in the coming months, like, for example, about return hubs and curbing the activities of the people smugglers. But that's all. Coming back to you now in the studio.
Kazimierz Łysiak reporting from Zugspitze, Germany. Thank you, much appreciated. And of course, we'll be checking in with Kazimierz throughout the day for the latest updates. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz also spoke at length about migration at his press conference on Friday. He confirmed that Germany is working closely with Poland to tackle the complex issue of illegal migration, and even said he welcomed Poland's decision to introduce temporary border checks.
It is clear that we will only be able to resolve irregular migration in the long term by working together within the European Union. That is also why we are committed to reaching joint decisions in Europe. What we are currently doing in Germany is only a temporary measure. We know that. The Federal Minister of the Interior knows that. We in the coalition know that. But we have to do it as long as there is no better protection of Europe's external borders.
In an interview with TVP World, the deputy mayor of Słubice, a town in western Poland neighboring Germany, discussed the current situation at the border. Earlier this month, Poland reinstated border controls with Germany and Lithuania in response to a surge in illegal migration.
We have been living with border controls since 2023, when they were introduced by the German side. And this is actually not a new situation for the twin city, for the citizens of Słubice and Frankfurt, or for the commuters who cross the border every day. Now, there are also traffic jams on the German side because of the controls introduced by the Polish side. So, for me personally, this is of course a very sad picture after so many years of looking after Poland's accession to the European Union, as well as having fought for the signing of the Schengen Agreement. And now, it all seems to have come to a bit of an end, or at least to be limited.
The European Union's 18th sanctions package against Russia has officially been approved by all 27 member states. European powers, including the UK, are ramping up pressure on Russia, targeting the Kremlin's cyber operations and war economy. Alex Cadier reports from Brussels.
Well, nearly simultaneous sanctions between the European Union and the United Kingdom. We'll focus on the UK first. These sanctions targeting Russia's military intelligence, the GRU, and their cyber attacks on European countries, sanctioning that GRU and trying to put more pressure on Russia in response to what the UK sees as hybrid attacks. We saw a statement as well from NATO supportive of those UK sanctions, calling out Russia's war of aggression in Ukraine, a statement crucially signed by the United States as well. But back to Brussels, that 18th package of sanctions by the European Union, 2 months of negotiation to get it across the line. It includes a ban on the reactivation of the Nord Stream pipelines, preventing Russian gas from flowing freely into Europe, a price cap at which European countries will buy oil, designed to be 15% under the price at which Russia sells its gas, weakening its ability to finance its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Sanctions again on the shadow fleet that Russia uses to illegally sell its oil and then to make its way around those European sanctions. So clearly ramping up the pressure on Russia. Kaja Kallas, the EU's top diplomat, saying this is the biggest package of sanctions ever agreed in the EU. The UK saying it's the biggest package of sanctions against Russian cyber activities from the UK. So clearly those Europeans ramping up the pressure against Russia. In Brussels, I'm Alex Cadier for TVP World.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and French President Emmanuel Macron have agreed that France will provide training for Ukrainian pilots on Mirage fighter jets. The two leaders spoke for an hour on Friday, according to a statement from Zelensky. They also discussed the current situation on the front line and Ukraine's key defense needs, including stronger air defense, the delivery of missiles for air defense systems, and funding for the interceptor drones. The Ukrainian leader also thanked France for its key role in helping to pass the 18th EU sanctions package against Russia. One of Russia's top universities has launched a new master's program aimed at reducing the impact of international sanctions, signaling that Moscow may be preparing for a long-term economic standoff. The program will teach students how to identify and manage risks related to sanctions and other restrictions imposed by foreign regulators. Annual tuition is approximately €5,400, with 20 spots for Russian students and 2 for international applicants. In addition to the full-time degree, the Higher School of Economics will offer a 160 and 36-hour professional course titled Sanctions Compliance. The course includes theoretical instruction and real-world case studies on the application of economic sanctions and compliance mechanisms. The initiative, reportedly the first of its kind in Russia, was first reported by the exiled Russian science outlet T-Invariant. To find out more about how Russians have been adapting to life under sanctions, read our analysis at tvpworld.com. This week, Poland recalled its ambassador to Hungary without appointing a replacement, leaving only the chargé d'affaires in place. Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski told TVP World that relations with Hungary are likely to remain strained as long as Budapest continues to offer asylum to opposition politician Marcin Romanowski, who is accused of embezzling millions of euros during his time as deputy minister.
Hungary, as you know, made an unfriendly gesture by giving asylum to a suspected criminal. And until that changes and until Hungary stops blocking almost €500 million of money that we are owed from the European Peace Facility, it'll be hard to have better relations.
And that's a wrap for this news update. The bottom line coming up next.